Hey, everybody. Welcome into the building. Happy Thursday. I see some people trying to get on the train platform, but the train platform is packed, okay? It is jam-packed. I'm sorry. And Julius, I see you out there. You missed the train. You was late for the train, Julius, but I do see you out there, and I'm glad you out there on the other platform. Now, listen, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Trending Topics Thursday, and I want to start out by saying this. Listen, we all get passionate over here. Whether you're on the platform, riding with me on the platform, or you riding on the platform outside the train. Y'all still here with me. I appreciate all of y'all. And I want to say this. Come on now, Savannah. The drink card is closed. You better talk about it. It's closed by state inspection. The chain has been shaking all week. Thank you, Savannah. The state inspectors came by and they said, shut it down. So the drink cart is closed. You better tell somebody, okay? So listen, guys, I want to say this, and this I mean from the bottom of my heart, like we used to say, okay? I want to say this right here, right now. I really don't like when we come at each other. And you do you see I'm using we? I ain't blaming nobody. I'm not saying nothing. I don't like for us to come at each other. There's enough going on in the world. You can turn on your news. You can read the newspaper. You can Google it. And it's too much going on. So when we come up here for trending topics, I want us to stand our ground. I want us to have fun. But I don't want us to come at each other. Because my soul don't rest easy at night when we do that. I really don't feel good when that happens at all. If you notice, anytime that is about to happen, I want to literally pull the emergency brake, let everybody shake, roll, and fall, and just shut the train down. All right? So if anybody feelings got hurt last night, I mean this, accept the apology on my behalf. And I really mean that. All right. So all we come here to do, I come here with the little topics. I like debating with the people. Y'all know I'm going to stand my ground. And you also know that I'm okay if I'm on the cart by myself. Don't nobody got to get on the cart with me. I'm grown. I'm grown. I can stand on the cart on my own, but I'm going to stand my ground. So again, I say this to everybody. I don't want nobody hurt nobody's feelings, okay? Don't take nothing personal. We don't know these darn people. We having a conversation and it's our opinion. And we base our conversation on the information we have. And if we missing some information, y'all want to tell us what information we're missing, go ahead and tell us that and maybe we'll adjust our conversation or maybe not, okay? So stand your ground. Be respectful. Don't come at the person. I love everybody. And again, if anybody feelings got hurt, please accept the apology on my behalf because I'm not coming here for that. And y'all can go to plenty of YouTube channels. We don't want to do that over here, okay? And I had told people early on, if I get too far on the left, check me, pull my coattails, bring me back in. All right, and I'll shut that session down. Because that's not what I want to do. Now, with that being said, we got to get into it because today's trending topics is labeled True Love. Maybe with a question mark at the end. True love. So this Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen, they standing by each other. They think it's thieves. To the point where even though he know his father doesn't approve Michael Jordan, he wants his father to be the best man in his wedding when he marries Larsa. He said they for real. They know that their relationship seems awkward to the world, but to them, they're everything. He said, that's my girl. And she said, that's my man. We're going to talk about it. True love will be the judge tonight because that's what we're doing. We're judging, okay? So now, let's talk about Garcelle Beauvais. Okay? What's her name? Sorry, I'm messing up her name? Larsa. Is it Larsa? I call her Larissa. Thank you, Emmanuel. Larsa. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Larsa Pippen. Y'all know I be messing up names over here. Good gosh. Thank you, Emmanuel. I appreciate you. Now, let's talk about Garcelle Beauvais. She got the teenage twins over there. And one of them, you know, these kids, sometimes these kids, You be selling your soul, working 10 jobs just to make sure they have everything. And it still ain't enough for these kids sometimes. Her twin Jax said she wasn't a mother. Come on. Y'all gotta help drop the W. Come on now. You better help me pronounce something. I ain't mad at y'all. Okay? All right? So I'm trying to say. So her son Jax said, Mom, I'm 14. Okay? And you wasn't a mom to me. And I want to go live with Dad. And I don't need a mother. You only 14. You don't need your mother anymore? Get out of here. You mad at me because I got to work? You not mad at your daddy who broke up this family by messing around with some other woman while we was married, but you mad at me and you want to go live with Dad? All right, go live with Dad. Messy boots. We're going to talk about that. All right? Then we're going to talk about TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. Listen, I was 10 toes down when that thing first happened. I said, give it 365 days. They won't be together no more. Well, honey, true love. Because those two, not only are they still together, iHeartRadio done gave them a podcast together. I guess it was true love. I don't know. Come on now, Emmanuel. Respect your mother. You better say that. Respect your mother. Okay? So yeah, these TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, they think it's thieves. They another one. They do not care who doesn't like their relationship. They like it. And they said, we here to the end. Yeah, they're doing a podcast together. Are y'all going to go on iHeartRadio and listen to their podcast? TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. Y'all listening? Okay, because we're talking true love here. Now, listen, people, y'all know what I need in that chat to get this thing started. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Trending Topics Thursday, honey. And it is November, Thanksgiving month, okay? The month of being grateful. So I'm grateful that y'all are going to be here tonight with me. What happens, Zeta? I'm not sure what's going on, but you two unsubscribed me from your page earlier this week, and I missed the Diva train. Oh, they playing games? You two be playing games like that, but Zeta, I'm glad you came back. Let them know, okay? You part of the Gray Tribe. You ain't doing that. Come on now, we need a choo-choo. All right, everybody. All aboard, everybody. I'm about to board this train with the people, bring the people in the building. All right, now. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Choo-choo.
Hey, Robin.
Hey.
Hello.
In my opinion, Savannah. Okay, Wayne, Sebastian.
Hey, Diva.
Hey.
Choo-choo.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Dustin.
Choo-choo.
Come on now. The pizza's in the building. The platform is full. Come on, girl. Get your wine because we got stuff to talk about. Did I pass out candy? I passed out as much candy as I had. And then when I had no more candy, I put a sign on the door. Out of order. Don't even do that. I ain't got another piece of candy for y'all. Okay, that's it. And that's all. Listen, hey everybody, let's go ahead and get this train. Yes, you can.
I just want to say last night was a very emotional night for me. I wasn't here on the panel, but I was listening, and it was a very emotional night for me. So and sorry, kind of emotional last night. So about after the live. So I'm still here with you guys all. I love you guys all very much.
We love you back, Dustin, and glad you're here, okay? So everybody, listen, we about to pull this train into the first station. And you know what I think I'm going to start with? I think I'm going to start with, maybe I'll start with...
Can I start with Can I say something about Amy Robach or TJ Holmes real quick, David?
No, Dustin, when I get to that story, you can, okay? Not right now. All right.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. No problem. Thank you. So when we get to that story, you be the first one to say something about those two, okay? So let's do this here. Let's go ahead and start with Garcelle. True love, okay? Because motherhood is not easy. Okay? It's not easy, motherhood. And I'm gonna need these kids to be a little more appreciative of everything that the parents is out in these streets doing for them. Now let me go ahead and share this screen. Let's get to Garcelle and her little boy here. Let me see. Yeah, let me share this screen. We're going to hear, this situation right here. Okay, let me do this. So she got the twins. And I think Jax is the one where Erica Jane, kind of told him off, and then the people was coming after him. So I think that's why Jax is partly feeling this way. But he need to understand it wasn't his mama's fault. Now let's hear Jax talk. Hold on now.
Talk to you guys. You said something yesterday, going back and forth sucked.
I think it would be much better if we didn't. I mean, we were dad for like a year, so it's fine.
I wasn't gone for a year. I was gone for 3 weeks, and I could tell that you were...
3 weeks is basically a year.
And how did that make you feel? I felt like when I was talking to you when I was away, I could tell that you were annoyed that I was gone so long.
My friends don't live around there, and it was boring.
I definitely feel guilty that my work takes me away sometimes. Like, you can say, Mom, I wish you didn't go, or I don't know if that would change me not going because
I told you.
it's work. Wait, no, because it's work commitments, right? But I'm saying sometimes I wish you would just vocalize it. This is your chance to say how you feel about how we run the household.
I would like more freedom.
You get enough freedom.
Not as much as I would like.
I feel like you're not letting me parent you. Like if you're sick and I go, can I give you something? Can I take your temperature? And you're like, Mom, I'm, I can take care of it. I feel like you don't let me parent you.
And I understand where you're coming from, that you want to be more of a parent to us. But I needed that 2 years ago instead of now. Most of the parenting and teaching me how to live, I know I already had to do all of that by myself.
So were you saying I wasn't your mom then?
Yeah.
Messy.
Oh,
Messy boost. Woo, child. Hold on now. We got some more to show you. Just hold tight, everybody. Hold on. Woo, he's a mess.
Thanks for watching.
I'll stop there. Y'all get the gist of it. Leo, your thoughts?
I'm trying to gather my breath back together. These kids, they different, right? They drinking something different. They eating things that are different than 2 generations ago. And so, yes, I can agree with the fact that, okay, so we're going to put it out there plain and simple. The young man was just being an a-hole. He was just being difficult as teenagers can be at that age. They know how to throw daggers and they real good at it, right? He literally tried to scalp her on camera. He did, and he may feel a way. He may have felt a way, and he expressed it on camera, and that's fine. At least he did not do it in a way that was, he did not act it out. Some kids can feel those same feelings and burn the house down, steal your credit card, slice your tires, be in the house yelling and screaming, busting in walls, because they boys, so they taller than her. So it's a lot of ways to react and call out your parents in a way without saying the words. Do I feel like these children are spoiled? I do. I feel like they spoiled. I feel like they're a bunch of ingrates. I do. But they kids. And that's what kids do. That's what kids do. So I hope the fact that they have recovered from that. I'm glad that they have moved on. He is letting her know that he does love his mom, but they was acting out. That boy was acting out. He was throwing daggers on TV. He was just showing off on his mama. And the way she reacted is not the way that I would have reacted, but she knows her kids. And I'm sure she knows how to respond to them in a healthy, loving way. What has Felicia taught us? That kids are to be loved and protected.
Boom. Jonah, thank you so much for the super chat. Stay blessed, beautiful people. I appreciate you. With his Burberry on.
Yes.
His Burberry on.
They spoil and entitled and want to tell her when she should have been a mom, and he ain't up but 15 years old. It's a whole bunch of calling out that could have went on. There's a
Mhm.
whole bunch of calling out that could have went on, and I'm sure she has done that. I'm sure it has been pointed out. And you know what kills me a lot of times with kids is that the mama carry the burden.
All
Don't
the time.
the mama carry the burden? It's like the daddy is the same, even though he the one that broke up the family, but she the one that wasn't doing what she's supposed to do, like he would know.
Mhm. Come on now, Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody.
Mhm. Good evening.
Yeah. This is a mixed bag for me.
Mhm.
I don't like the fact that the cameras were there. I don't like the fact that, we're on a beach. It looks like it's cold. I didn't think it was real. I think it was forced. And, she's saying very gently, I mean, I feel like you don't want me to parent you. I mean, I don't know how many moms talk to their children like that. Sounds like a script. And I think he went left with the script.
Mm.
And I also believe he spoke his truth. I needed you 2 years ago. I think I figured out what to do already.
Absolutely.
I don't. What people do for money, who they exploit, what relationships they exploit. I don't think it was fair. And I know that her children are part of this whole reality piece, and they get treated a certain way and things aren't necessarily private for them. And I'm just sorry that she finds herself in this spot. And then on top of that, once again, there I see some brown-skinned woman talking to Andy Cohen about things that aren't his business. And it's not his business, your children. And when I do say children should be loved and protected, I mean that in every fame, in every way.
Mhm.
Andy Cohen isn't the kind of person that I would want to be speaking with about my children and what they need. Let's talk about my career. Let's talk about what I'm doing tomorrow, what's coming out next week. I'm not talking about my children.
Right.
So it really is a mixed bag for me.
I got you. I hear you.
Okay.
E, you're up.
So, hello, let me start with that. When
Mhm.
you have a baby, in the best case scenario, the baby will either have your personality or the other parents.
Ooh.
And I'm unsure which parent's personality this child has, because Garcelle can be very sharp and she can be very direct.
Mhm.
But on Watch What Happens Live, she said, what did she say? She said that he told her we are in such a better place now. When I heard that, I was thinking I need more context to that. How are they in a better place? How
Mhm.
did they get to this better place? What happened? Why weren't they in a good place to begin with? Is this because she was gone for 3 weeks for work and he couldn't see his friends and he was bored? That was the worst thing that I heard. That's why they were upset. Oh, my friends weren't there. I was bored. You were gone for 3 weeks, but it felt like a year. Like, are you kidding me? I need to know the real story.
Mhm.
And yes, I agree with Leo. This child is articulate, more articulate than his twin brother, and he
Mhm.
does appear to be emotionally intelligent. Because it wasn't him that who's that woman Erica was talking to? She was talking to the one with the curly hair, and the one with the curly hair was the one who he really could care either way. He's just about having a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I agree with Leo that this one who was talking, he is articulate and he appears to be emotionally intelligent. But like Felicia said, or maybe that was Leo, with that comes manipulation sometimes. Because when he
Mhm.
said, I would like more freedom, and I could, when he said I wanted more freedom and everything that you could teach me about parenting and how to live, I know that already. Most 16-year-olds don't talk in that kind of way. And my first thought was he talks just like his white daddy. So when you sit there on the Watch What Happens Live and you're discussing this with Andy, I'm just looking at the scene of things, and I understand that Garcelle sees things very, very differently than how a lot of us do. But that would
Right.
have been very, very, very hard for me to film. And I know this is about reality, but for me as a mom, unless I could give the full context, I would have said pull that scene, don't put that out there. Especially if you and your son were in a good place at the time. I need more. I need more context.
The problem is with reality TV, since there are no scripts, she didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth, and I really felt like she wasn't expecting that. If you watch it, because I watched that scene a couple of times, it's almost like she had tears in her eyes. I don't think she was expecting that. And Jax is the one that Erica was talking to.
Well, I
Jax,
find it so interesting because he reverted back to such a young place when that happened, but he's talking like a man to his mom 1 year later. I don't know. I don't know. Something I don't know. I don't know.
so I feel like, because he said in the incident happened about 2 years ago, right? So I almost feel like he's so mad at her, but it's not everything that happened as a result of that situation. No, Erica, yeah, she cursed. Yeah, it was Jax. Everything that happened with that situation was out of Garcelle's control. Like,
Well,
how
that
could
was
she have really have known that Erica was going to do that at her birthday party, right? She
well,
would have never known that. And even the aftermath was out of Garcelle's control. But can I tell you what I thought about way in the back of my head? I think that perhaps Garcelle could have pushed a little bit more, because I think at the end of the day, they found out and know exactly who was behind all of the hateful stuff. And
oh,
maybe he feels that his mother, for the greater good of keeping her job or whatever, didn't push hard enough or whatever. This is just rolling in my head. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Because he specifically said 2 years ago. So your mother has mothered you all your life, and you're going to reference back to just 2 years ago. He didn't say my whole life you didn't protect me, you didn't love me, you didn't care. 2 years ago I needed you. He said that exact. 2 years ago I needed you to be a mother, and you wasn't there for me. And so he's, a lot of times, sometimes people, they forget, and I'm talking outside of kids right now, I'm talking generically. Sometimes people forget everything you did good for them. In one instance, they're going to get stuck on that. You didn't come to so-and-so's funeral, and that really broke my heart. But meantime, your whole life, you've been there for them, bought them groceries, helped them with this, helped them with that. And they got this one moment that they stay stuck on because you didn't make it to that. Now, all of a sudden, you're no longer a good friend, XYZ or whatever. So if you hear his word, he said 2 years ago, you wasn't there for me. And I'm sitting there like, dude, she birthed you. She gave you I guess let's say birth to 11, and then that one moment she didn't show up the way you felt she should have showed up. So now she's a no good mother, and you want to go live with daddy.
And before you move on, because if that's true, I can see that. But then also I'm going back to that season when all of that happened, even with Erica talking to her son like that. I felt like Garcelle went way too easy with the way that she was allowing these women, regardless to their color, the way that she allowed them to treat her children. And I understand, we have to take some things on the chin for a paycheck, but not for the not compromising the integrity of the relationship with your children. Absolutely not. Garcelle, if that is true, I'm looking at her with the look of incredulity. I mean, all money ain't good money. I mean, go to BET. Tyler Perry is hiring.
Right. But you know what though, she did cuss them out and drop F-bombs on them at the reunion, at all them girls. She gathered them all together at the reunion about her boy.
Well, my mom did something similar where she waited and handled something instead of doing it in real time. And now as a mom, I understand why we want to wait and get the details. But in a child's mind, when I have been violated and you do not handle it with urgency, then I do feel like, wait a minute, am I unprotected? How could you let this go for so long? It's kind of like, and I get it from an adult perspective, but going back to my inner girl from years ago, it's like, why wasn't I important right then? I don't know. I see it from both sides.
I know, I'm feeling you. I understand. And so, yeah, but because he said that pivotal thing there, I was like, I see where he's trying to come from. And they know more behind the scenes than we do. And yes, he's a teenager. That's part of it. But I think his whole venom is stemming from that situation, because remember, for him, it was really real because they was coming in his inbox. They was talking about his older brother and his older brother substance abuse habit. They came hard. And maybe he felt like his mother should have stood up, said more, did more. You know, like you said, I'm going to go
And,
the way.
and they were sending him her nudes, remember?
Yeah, they were. But you know, and I don't want to backtrack on this road here, but we see from this Keith Lee situation, the internet gets brutal. It gets brutal. Now, there are some people that they fight tooth and nail to not allow their kids, now whether the kids sneak and do it or not, to not allow their kids to have social media until a certain age. And you can understand why. You have to be emotionally ready for social media because it's a beast. And if you are going to have it under a certain age, then you definitely should have a private account. But the kids don't want it that way. They want to have their account. They want to have it open. But when you have your account open, then you got to be ready for the smoke. You got to be ready for the smoke. LV said that. Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. Wayne, I'm coming to you.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. You know, this is the dark side of stardom, you know. And I'm like with E on this. You know, we don't really know the whole story, but I'm sure it's not over 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And I fervently believe children don't come in the world like this. This starts at the cradle. So however they got to that point, whether if you think they're ungrateful, whether you think they're against their mother, they got there from them. Okay, these aren't children that got influenced, I would say, by the other side of the tracks, you know. But you're not going to tell me that Garcelle, I mean, these children, when you have, I don't know what the lady does, but when you're in this kind of business, to be successful, you got to give up something. And a lot of times your family lacks. The family lacks. And if the husband is not in the same type of industry, he's going to be home most of the time. You know, so these kids didn't just get there to wherever they are like that. You know, I believe they've had a lot of time by themselves, grown up by themselves. That's my opinion. I don't know these people from a can of paint, but that's my opinion on them.
Yes. Lena Lee, thank you so much for the super chat. She said, I feel like it was bad editing and more to what happened. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, but I filled in the blanks in my head, to be honest with you. But if you notice, Jade, he looked at his brother when he said that, like, whoa, that's what you're saying to Mom? And like the part of the conversation with Jade, when she went to him, he was like, I'm good. I just miss my girlfriend. I'm doing this picnic scene for you. I'm here. I love you. All is well. I miss my friends. When you wasn't home for those 3 weeks, that felt like a year. And yeah, 3 weeks is going to feel like a year when you bored and you missing your friends and your girlfriend lives over by your mom's house. But if you catch it, when the other brother said that to Mom, Jay looked at him like, whoa, that's how you feel about Mom? So she got two different, what you normally do, she got two different total personalities out there. Thank you for the super chat. Who am I coming to? Savannah, you're up.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Single working moms, they already have it hard. They have to find ways to try to minimize the conflict that especially young men in their age demographic have to deal with, and also find ways to connect with young men, because it's sometimes it's and during that age is times when they boys do not connect with their moms, but find ways to maximize like that warmth that they share with their moms, and make those moments. And Garcelle was always busy doing something, and I don't see 3 weeks as a long time. That to me was a mute point, but I'm pretty sure there was also some behind the scenes conversations that we don't know much about. But Garcelle, as well as her husband, they work very hard to set those her children up to be in beneficial social circles, and make sure that they had the social skills, like making sure that they made friends, and had that they were in an area where that they were set up for a better future, and they had some more advantages. So I didn't like, I think, how he was just addressing the conversation with her, and it was bad editing. So, and I did see that she was a little off guard with it as well. So I hope that they do nurture this storyline, because I do think that there is something there.
Thank you, Savannah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So hi everyone. I do feel like I do hear what you're saying, Diva. I still feel like there's something missing. I'm and it could be just me. I don't feel like um your kids would just say something that was totally off base, out of the ordinary, just all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Something would have had to happen for that to feel like that for them, especially if you're with them all the time. Usually, a mom knows when something is off with their kids, whether it's little, whether it's big. You kind of know. I don't know. It felt very ooey at the moment, and I know it probably caught her off guard, because if it felt like that to me watching it, I'm pretty sure it stung her a lot more. I'm just gonna keep on praying that they get it together.
I appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, Robin, you're up.
Please forgive me. I was in the chat. I would like to respectfully just say, disclaimer, I do not watch this show. So my comment is limited to exactly what I saw.
Gotcha.
What I saw was a teen being emotionally manipulative and seen.
Thank you, Auntie Robin. Sebastian, your thoughts?
Good evening, everyone. So my thoughts on this situation is this. This is the result of soft parenting. Garcelle, you know damn well that you would have never said this to your parents, because they never, well, your mother never raised you in a way to ever have the audacity to tell her that she was never a mother to you. This is the great result of soft parenting. And also, I see some people said, oh, it's probably his daddy who's putting it all up in his head. No, I don't think that, because his daddy's all up busy too. He's probably in the house, at his dad's house, having all his friends over, having fun, playing video games however he wants. And he just feels more comfortable there because he doesn't have a mother who's disciplining him there at that said house. That's probably why he says he prefers there. I am tired of this nonsense. Garcelle, you need to, as much as I love you, Garcelle, and I go hard for you, Garcelle, because these YouTube streets, they be dragging your name. They be saying you don't bring your hood out. They say a whole bunch of things about you, Garcelle. I love you, but you have to discipline your children. I'm not saying physically, but verbally, you need to tell your kids to make sure that they check themselves, or they'll be checked by you. This cannot be happening like this. And The other one, well, yeah, Diva's right. The other one was so shocked when he said that. He was very shocked. Jax, you are just very spoiled because your mother was just gone for 3 weeks. There are kids whose mothers are gone for years and they haven't seen them in years. For example, the kids who live in other countries and their mothers migrate to America and stuff like that. You, I'm not with this. Garcelle, you know your Haitian roots, Garcelle. You know your Caribbean roots, Garcelle. There's no way in hell you know your mother would allow you to do this. She would have pulled you by your hair. Don't do this. Put some sense into this, boy.
Who child? Yeah. Dustin, your thoughts? You there, Dustin?
Can you hear me, Diva?
Yes, I can.
My thoughts are this. I think that I didn't watch the whole episode. I watched the whole entire episode on Peacock the same day it premiered, and I think that he's saying that the way that he feels, and I applaud him for that, because sometimes the way I don't say the way that I feel on certain things, but sometimes I need to say, it's how I feel about certain things. So I applaud him for saying the way that he feels to his mother, and not bottle it up inside, because sometimes I do that as well. And I agree with what he said. If he feels like he wasn't involved in his younger years the way that he felt like he needed to be, or he wasn't loved as deeply that he thought he was, that's the way he feels, and he needed to tell her that.
I hear you. I
wanted to get your opinion on that, Diva.
So it's hard, right? Because it's a mixed bag and it's a thin line, right? Because you sitting there with Burberry on, right? You got Burberry on your back. The shoes that the other brother had on, they pricey. I forgot the name of them, but all these kids have them. So it's almost like you want to live a certain way, but you want me to be home too. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? And then when you are a single parent, you got no choice because everything's on your back. She still got to pay her mortgage. She bought the beach house, so she got to work. And when you're in the entertainment field, if they say work is over here in Atlanta, you got to go over there in Atlanta. In 3 weeks, just unsubscribe. No need for timeout. All right. So in 3 weeks, 3 weeks is, it's not a year. It's not 2 years. It's not that long. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm of the mindset that he said he's grown. He don't need her anymore. If he was grown and he didn't need her anymore, he could have checked his mother off camera. If he was really grown, right? You so grown, you don't need her anymore. That's your mom. You could have checked her off camera. And then I would have been
if you so grown, buy your own tennis shoes. Buy your own tennis shoes, because we just saw that. She was in the sneaker store and they talking about some $1,500 shoes. Why you don't buy your own shoes?
You remember that? So you don't want me to go, you don't want me to work, but you want all this expensive stuff. So it's like you gotta pick your battle and choose your battles. But like I said, grown, you would have checked me off camera. And it would have stayed in our household and nobody would have known. So that's my take on that. And 14 is not grown. You don't need me anymore. You don't need me anymore? Oh, okay. Then all this money I'm making, I can keep in my bank account for me.
Tell your daddy to come get you.
He did say he want to go live with daddy.
Well, yes. Don't threaten me with a good time. When he coming?
Yeah, you know what? Listen, my son got the type of relationship too where he can express himself, but express yourself between you and I.
Right.
You don't express yourself.
On the
What?
new episode, Garcelle had a whole meltdown over this conversation with Jack.
No, I know
she
she did. She did. Because you know what? I think, like I said, she was shocked. I think she thought she was going to have this beach scene with her sons and it was going to be soft and pink. And you see, look at the brother. The brother looked at him like, whoa, where'd that come from? Because you see, Jay was laid back. He was laid back. So like I said, I have very candid conversations with my son, but we ain't everybody ain't in the house and we ain't in the street doing that. Like you gotta know, and especially if you claim you at this certain level of maturity, then you would have never did that to your mama on no camera. That's my thought on that. But go ahead. Somebody wants to say something before I move?
I do. I really want to say something real quick.
Yes.
Oh, Diva, come back to me too.
Okay.
Soft parenting, and also this is the result of soft parenting, and this happens a lot with Caribbean mothers where they coddle their sons a lot. It's very true. Like Latin and Caribbean parents, they do this a lot where they coddle their sons a lot, and I understand that the boy feels completely able to express himself however he wants, but you got to respect your mother. Even in public, national TV or whatever, behind closed doors, you can say what you want, but you have to respect your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Garcelle's not a single parent. I don't want people constantly calling her that.
Mm-hmm.
She co-parents with her husband, with her ex-husband.
Thank you, Sebastian. That's what I was going to say.
I think his name is Max Nylon,
Mm-hmm.
who is a producer for a couple of films. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so who else wanted to say something real quick before we move to the next station?
And this too shall pass. These kids are growing up. 2 more years down the line, things will change, So I'll just say this too shall pass.
It shall. And he did, like, you know what he did apologize to his mom and said, we're in a good space now. I love you, whatever the case may be. But like I said, he the one claimed he grown and he don't need nobody. He done learned everything he needed to learn in life. And I'm just saying, if he really did, you wouldn't have checked your mother on nobody's screen. It's your mama.
I've got to say this. When she finished the piece with Andy Cohen, she says, oh, I wish he would have tweeted that. She wants the public persona. Where, I'm standing alone here tonight because this is a bunch of BS. Okay.
You wanted,
Miss Alicia, you're not alone.
No,
I'm just.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He in his youth expressed himself as best as he could. He knew it would land a little hurtful, but he had to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And for all the mothers and fathers who raised and took care of their children. You never had your children say they didn't like something about you? Or they didn't appreciate something you didn't do?
100%.
So she puts him on camera, and then she's coming out with this, you don't let me parent you. She's not even touching her children or embracing them or seems to be relaxed with them. And then she tells him, well, what do you mean?
Come on, Felicia.
She's cutting him off. He said something. Now you're telling me she had a meltdown, but she wished he had tweeted out that apology to his mother. I'm not buying it.
Oh my God.
No, Felicia is right, because I noticed that too. If my daughter would have said something like that to me, I would have rushed over to her because I'm touchy-feely that way. I'm a hugger. She was sitting in the distance between them, especially if you feel like there's a disconnect. I don't know. I saw that in the chat that they said that I get even being shocked, but when I'm shocked, I want to pull you in closer so that no, I'm still your mom, and I'm not finished parenting you. I will never be finished parenting you as long as you live and I live. So no, I did expect something a little bit different. And I don't ever remember seeing her being affectionate in that way with her children. And like Sebastian said in the chat, she's an actress. She couldn't have acted. I don't know. I'm with Felicia on this one.
Well, y'all in the car together. I ain't mad at y'all. But I think she was in total shock because I think in her mind she was going to have this little beach picnic scene with her kids. She was going to do this little and ask them this little question because she was gone for 3 weeks and she thought it was going to be focused on that 3 weeks that she was gone and they was going to say, I missed you. I think she was completely caught off guard and shocked. I don't think that I just don't see her. You know, and everybody does show affection a different way. Like, you know, we are a huggy, kissy family, but I know some people that are not. And they still love their family and love their kids. But I just know some people that's just not who they are.
We're not like that in my family. We're not huggy. Yeah. We're like that a little bit more now, but not when I was coming up. It wasn't a whole bunch of that. But okay.
I know a lot of people like that, Leo. That's just wasn't who they were. But their mother loved them to death. It's sticky. This conversation is very sticky, and I think the reason why she wanted it tweeted is because unfortunately this happened on a public platform, and so what sticks in people's mind is that one scene with him saying that to her, and she felt like if he would have tweeted it, everybody would have known like we're good now, we're okay. So that part is going to get missed. You know how things, the bad always lands and sticks. The apology is always falls on like cotton, so to speak. I think that's what it was. But I'm going to move past this. Of course, you know, I never know where these stories going to go. And I didn't think this one was going to last this long. But you know what? Shame on me, right? Zita, you're in the building. Is there something you wanted to say? About this, because I saw you in the comments there. Go ahead, talk to me.
Yeah, this is a little touchy. It's a little touchy subject for me because, like we were saying, a lot of our parents aren't really like, you know, emotional. I should say physically affectionate and stuff like that. Now growing up, I look back. I wish my parents did a lot more things. I always say I wish I grew up with like a loving. I shouldn't say it like that. A touchy-feely type of family where we say I love you and stuff like that. And it's totally different. I feel like because I have a strained relationship with my mother as well. So I kind of am in the same situation that Jax is in. Yes, your parents are able to provide this and the third for you from work and stuff, but being there for you emotionally and even just physically, because I know my love language is what's it called? Quality time, and just wanting to be able to spend time with your parents. So I see where, excuse me, I'm really worked up. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I see where he's coming from and wanting his mother there, feeling like 3 weeks was like a year, and and just wanting her to be there for him. And he felt that he was already done parenting. He was done being parented. And yes, that was a dig at her. And at the time she did ask him to be open, but he did hurt her feelings. But it was so nice for her to be able to let him be free, because like I said, I didn't get that growing up. My parents didn't give me that opportunity to express myself and tell them what I want. And now that I'm older and I'm trying to tell them, you know, it's hard when I grew up in an immigrant family as well, and you're trying to tell them what you need, and they're stuck in their ways, and you know, they think, yes, you did the best you can for me, you think your way is the best, but sometimes, you know, it's good to change. And I look at how my parents, specifically my mother, treats like my brother. It's totally different, and I wish I had that type of relationship with her as she has with my brother. That's all.
Okay, so I appreciate you coming up, right? I really do. So, and I'm connecting. It's not a disconnect here, because there's always two sides to the story, right? And I will say that perception is everything. And you know, it's always what the person feels and not what you think they feel or should feel, right? So I hear you, and I hear your connection to the story through him. And I will say this, right? I do appreciate that she allowed him to say what he had to say. And sometimes, and it is possible, because I know some non-huggers and I know some non-affectionate people in that way, that they became that way as a result of being around people who are that way, right? And sometimes we repeat history. If my mother wasn't a hugger and my dad wasn't a hugger and my family wasn't huggers, then I probably won't be a hugger, right? And then there's some rare moments where maybe that person will flip around and they will be a hugger because they want to break the cycle, so to speak, and get something that they never had, right? But a lot of people end up following the same path. So I appreciate you coming up here and being vulnerable and telling your side of the story. And I'm going to pull back a little bit and soften up to his side of the story and say that, you know what, I'm getting it and I understand. And I think that no matter what the age is, if you're the child trying to speak to your parent, or if you're the parent trying to speak to your child, we all have to learn how to just be open and to listen and maybe find our way to some middle ground, knowing that we truly care about the person. So in my bracket, my family was like, you ate, you got a roof over your head, that means I love you, so to speak, right? And then it almost goes back to, I forgot what class it was in where they did that hierarchy thing. I can't remember what it is right now. It's slipping my mind.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Thank you, Sebastian.
That's right.
Thank you, Sebastian. And it'll tell you in there, right? You can't even reach that pinnacle level until you got your housing and your food or your this or your that, whatever. It's like, you know, telling somebody that is unhoused and trying to use the new words they like to use now, trying to tell somebody unhoused, like how to dream about having XYZ when all they could think about is I need something to eat and a place to live and a roof over my head, right? So I appreciate you. And, you know, I'll just say this was a great conversation. And just overall out there, whether you're the parent or the child, you know, give the other person some grace and see if eventually y'all can come to some type of middle ground. I do know some people are very stubborn and stuck in their ways. But you know what? Maybe try to keep working through to see if they could, you know, come to some middle ground. Before I move from this subject, anybody really quickly have anything else they really need to say? We're okay.
I'm curious to see how the rating's going to go on this particular scene.
This scene already, this was the premiere episode where it happened. And then already last night, the new one came out. I didn't get to see all of it yet, but you know, she was very emotional. And that proved to me too, like how shocked she was that this even happened, right? Let me see what G-Mom Ford says. She said, we are family that say I love you when we party. My dad wasn't like that, but I wanted to change that cycle. Yeah. So, you know, every day and all the time, you know, I tell my son I love him. He tells, you know, he says he loves me and we kind of speak or whatever the case may be. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things where my son told me I ain't like that. You know, we dealt with it. I mean, you know, I heard him out, but I will be very honest with you. At first, I wasn't really hearing him out. Like he would say, I'd be like, boy, like seriously, like, you know what I mean? But I learned over time to start to really listen and hear him out and understand that was his experience. Even though we was experiencing the same thing at the same time, he experienced it different than I did. But I had to learn that.
Come on, Eva. That's
I had to learn that. Yeah. And my son said to me, honestly, my son helped me learn that. Do you see what I mean? So I always offer to people from the parent side because I personally know, like, I wanted to, of course, I want the best for my son. I felt like I was doing the best and I want nothing but the best from him. But that doesn't mean I was raising him that he experienced and felt everything in that way. So, you know, a lot of apologies happened and I started to, but like I said, he helped me understand, like, Ma, hear me out, right? And I had to pray and I had to say, okay. And a lot of times when he talks, sometimes I literally have to tell myself, shut up. Like, don't say nothing in the middle of him talking. I promise you that. So I say that to you, Zita, and to anybody else that is trying to navigate a relationship with their parent, whether they're still young or they're adults. Like, keep trying, keep talking. And maybe one day, one of the conversations will kind of slap them in the face and they will wake up Because even now, sometimes I have to literally tell myself, shut up. And my son will be like, Mom. And then I know, okay, let me shut up and listen. Do you see what I mean? But of course, and there was a point in my life where I worked 7 to 7 in the morning to 7 at night. That was my work hours. So you got to imagine, right? I had to leave sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to be to work at 7. And just because my shift ended at 7, it's not like I was home 7:30. I was giving a report, and then maybe I got home 8, 9 o'clock. So that meant on those days, I didn't see him going to school. I barely saw him when he's about to go to bed. Do you feel what I'm trying to say? So all I'm saying is cut us some slack as parents. And we would try to fill you as a child. And sometimes the child does need to teach the parent. I hope you connected with me.
I see where you're coming from, and you are a single mother. It's totally. I feel like it's totally different when you're coming from a 2-parent household. You still feel a disconnect with just one single parent. You know, you see their relationship with your other siblings. But that's just me. I've tried the talking, but now it is what it is. You know, moving on.
Okay, we'll move on. And I'm gonna offer you this. I feel, and it doesn't have to be true, but I feel like moms and their sons is a whole different ballgame. We joke as adults. So I have 2 sisters, 1 brother. We joke as adults. We tell my brother, you call Mom, because she gonna pick up the phone and she'll say yes to you. We'll talk to her all day long, me and my sisters. I'm not sure. I really don't want to go. I'm tired, this and that. My brother called, all of a sudden, Mom's there. We be like, Mom, for real? We got a family text. Everybody's in the text. My mom, my brother, my 2 sisters, me. We're texting, or everybody's responding, going back and forth between my siblings, right? My mother ain't saying a word. My brother say something, all of a sudden, be like, oh, Mom, you alive? She responds. So I do feel what you're saying, but let's move in, okay? Yeah, mothers and their sons. I'm trying to tell you, it's a whole nother story in and of itself. And we joke too and say he's the favorite. And my mother be like, no, no, he's the favorite. But let me move on. We're going to move on to this next story. I hope y'all connecting tonight, okay? We're having some good conversation here. I'm going to move on to TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. Let me tell you something. I bet money on this show when I first was doing their stories. I was 10 toes down that this relationship wasn't going to last more than 365 days. Well, woe is me. I did not think these two, I thought it was a fling that wasn't going to last. I thought they messed up their lives and these two wasn't going to be together. Well, honey, not only they still together, true love, I guess. Okay, they think it's these. And iHeart done gave them a podcast. Now, what are these two going to talk about on this podcast? I don't know. Will I listen? Maybe I'll listen to an episode. I'm not sure just yet. Okay. But these two, they got a podcast together. And I'm guessing true love. I don't know. I'm shocked. Look at them. That's a cute picture. I ain't gonna lie. That's a cute picture. They messy, but the picture is cute. And they seem happy together. They seem to care less that they destroyed 2 whole families and then some. Pop Fizz clean.
What a cute picture.
Huh?
Where's the cute picture?
You don't think
you
that
said it's a cute picture?
Don't do that. Yeah, I think they look cute there. GMA's ousted TJ Holmes and Amy Robach celebrate big career news with midday champagne while on lunch date in NYC. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have landed back on their feet. The GMA alum TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have landed a new gig following them being let go from ABC for violating company policy. TJ is 46. He took to his Instagram stories to share the news about his and Amy's 50 upcoming project with iHeartMedia. Look at them. Oh, shucks now. Those two right there. They messy. TJ posted a screenshot of the press release for the couple's partnership with the media company. Explained in an announcement was that the pair would be co-hosting a podcast together titled Amy and TJ. Not TJ and Amy and TJ. Their audio show is set to premiere December 5th on iHeart Podcast Network. Another image uploaded to TJ's story showed him out to eat with Amy. The father of 2 took the pic from his vantage point, capturing an off-guard shot of Amy as she sat across from him. She had a big smile on her face, appearing to be looking at someone next to her who was out of the frame. At the table where the two sat, there were 2 glasses filled with champagne. Earlier this week, Amy teased the career comeback in a cryptic new photo taken on a mystery TV set. Listen, new opportunities. Amy catching her photo, her Instagram photo, pumping it up, but didn't provide any further explanation as to what the backstage snapshot was for. The post showed the former ABC anchor having makeup applied by an artist while she sat in what appeared to be a green room. Amy sported a red blazer with black leather pants and matching black open-toed heels. She wore her blonde hair parted to the side and allowed her natural waves to fall behind her shoulders. In the post comment, one fan wrote, "Love this," while another commented with a simple red heart emoji. Now, I'm not going back to their scandal. Y'all know what happened. We got to talk about this iHeart situation podcast. It's December 5th, Leo. Are you going to be in the building? You're going to hear this podcast and listen to it?
I will not. I need those little minutes to add to keep to my life. I'm not going to waste them on that. But, with Diva, I was thinking about this. So TJ Holmes, I think, is a talented newscaster. I think he's very, very talented. I think that she is okay. I really don't know what, maybe she give research and production really good. But what I also think is that TJ Holmes is still gonna do TJ Holmes. I think he is very much in love. I do believe that he beating her back out. I believe she is very in love with him, but I do believe TJ Holmes is going to do what TJ Holmes does, because that is his history. That is his track record. I ain't hear nothing about him giving his, life to Jesus or nothing like that. He still is going to do what he does. You gave it 365 days. I mean, I'll give, another 365 days until he gets caught in some foolishness, because he will.
Oh my.
He will. He will get caught in some other foolishness. Now they back in the workplace. How is she going to feel comfortable? They at the iHeartRadio studio. They doing their podcast. They spending all their time together. What happens when he branches out and get more gigs and still be trying to holler at the interns? I don't think that type of behavior changes overnight or just because you pseudo fall in love with someone. I think they were both very much engaged in the fact that they were cheating on their spouses. They had that excitement going on, and I do believe it will fade.
Whew. All right, now we got one person will not be listening to their podcast. Felicia, your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm not listening. I won't be following, but I do wish the couple the best. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate you. We got 2 people that will not be watching or listening. E, your thoughts?
Make it a trio, because I won't be watching either. Choo choo.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, I'm with Felicia and E. I have no reason or desire to watch it. However, I hope it's a successful podcast. I hope their relationship lasts. If it's love, love on. That's it.
I appreciate you. Savannah, you listening?
Sorry, Diva, I couldn't get to the mute enough. Make that ON5. While I wish them the best, and they are 2 very talented real journalists, not like Portia journalists. I will not and have no interest in hearing or spending any of my time listening to their podcast. So no.
I appreciate you. Okay, Amy. Choo. Amy and TJ, it's not going well so far. Okay, we detest people here, and it's not going well. Yeah, they're not with the buffoonery on this panel tonight. In my opinion, will you be listening?
Diva, I won't be listening. I won't be checking. I won't be looking for updates. Okay, those cheaters deserve each other, and if they like it, I love it.
Well,
Choo choo.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Choo
Y'all
choo.
crazy tonight. The drink card is closed, but yet it must have been open. Robin, what are your thoughts?
I like to start by agreeing with, in my opinion, they do deserve each other. And the truth of the matter is, the fact that they do want to be with each other and that they did sneak around and then they came out and, came on Front Street, good for their spouses, that their spouses don't have to further endure their infidelity and they are now free to move on.
Yeah.
Will I be partaking in the podcast? Absolutely. And I will report back. I will not count them out because of their personal behavior. I will respect them for their journalistic bona fides and hope they bring that to the fore. And if you would like, I will happily give a very short review.
Okay, you can.
No, we don't need it review.
Oh shoot. Sebastian, True Love, are you going to listen to the podcast?
Well, I completely agree with Auntie Robin. I'm glad that it's glad that they're still in a relationship together. Then they're cheating on their spouses more because that's very wrong. You don't do that. That's infidelity. But their scandal brought to ABC ratings. Their scandal brought ABC high ratings, and I think if I'm not wrong, there's an article that said their ratings went up by 11%, which is significantly high.
That is high.
After that whole scandal.
That's true.
So therefore, they are a money-making machine. They brought the Benjamins. So therefore, I don't really go to iHeartRadio like that because there's not really that podcast that I really like that much. But I may go. I may absolutely go. And TJ does identify as Black Southern Belle. He does. He does identify as Black. I will definitely go listen to this podcast. He has them. He brings good views, and iHeartRadio definitely gave him a good contract, and they know damn well they're gonna get their good streams because you know what? All the bloggers, everyone is gonna be waiting for that first episode to drop so they can put out their apologies, put out everything, and put out all the tea. And you never know. What if they were separated from their spouse? So let's get. I want all the nitty gritty of this situation, please. TJ and Amy, I wish you guys good luck. I was defending y'all up on here when everyone was dragging you and kicking you down because at the end of the day, y'all are human beings. Y'all have made mistakes. If I counted the amount of people who've cheated at ABC that we just don't know, we just don't know, I'm pretty sure it would be double the amount of times these people have. So please cut them some slack and thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Zita, any comments on Amy and TJ?
So I kind of echo Sebastian because I remember when we first were introduced to the scandal, I didn't understand why they were getting fired from their jobs. I was definitely not with them with the cheating situation, but I think they needed to be fired. But as far as this podcast, I never watched them when they were on GMA. I don't think I'm going to watch them on their podcast either. So there's that.
There's that. Okay, y'all. Well, boom, there it is. Savannah, what are our final numbers? Savannah, you there? All right, I think
I have the numbers.
What's the numbers, E?
It's 6-3.
Yes.
Okay. So 6 people not watching. Okay, go ahead.
And so you know what that means for the train, right, Diva?
What?
The train crashed.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.
I cannot. Okay.
Like and TJ is one of them 13.4 million that my sister be talking about all the time.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next stop, where it's Marcus Jordan and Larsa, okay? Because I keep pronouncing her name wrong. Pippens. Now listen, these two, true love, I guess, right? Because he said he ain't going nowhere and she not going nowhere. And although his father doesn't approve, he wants his father to be the best man at his wedding. Now these two said they know their relationship is different. It's a little awkward, but guess what? They said they down for each other. Thick as thieves, okay? So Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen know their relationship looks awkward and weird. But guess what? They said we are down for each other to the better end. Let's hear them talk for themselves. Let me see if we can play this really quickly here.
So what do you say to such people who still have doubts about this?
Can we swear on here?
Absolutely. Please.
I was just gonna say, that's kind of my mentality is come on, because I just feel like we complement each other in so many different ways that like whatever, she's having a good day, I'm there to support her and vice versa. And so I don't know. I feel like we're living in our truth, and anybody that isn't happy about it can piss off.
I guess part of me does wonder, like when you guys met and you started dating, Larsa, you even say on the podcast, you're like, oh my God, is this worth it? Like, I know what's going to come with this. There's so many fish in the sea. Do you think any part of you were attracted to each other, to the idea of the relationship because it felt a little taboo or a little dangerous? Or
no, not at all. Once we started hanging out more and more together, we just kind of like were attracted to each other, and we are so much alike that it's crazy. So yeah, I know aesthetically it probably doesn't look good, and I feel like when people see us together and hang out with us, they're like, it makes sense. But I think just to hear of it, it doesn't resonate well with people.
I think the more time that people spend around us, they realize that it's genuine,
So what do you...
All right. So those two said, listen, we good. Okay. We are genuine. We really love each other, whatever the case may be. So why are y'all sweating us? Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to get out of this screen here so that maybe I'll stop sharing and then I'll come back to it and it will come out of this. Oh, there we go. It kind of spun out of it.
Please start from the bottom. Thank you.
You messy, Sebastian, but I'm gonna do that for you. But hold on, because I do have another screen I want to show you real quick. Okay, because these two, they said, listen, this is love, leave us alone. Okay, so let me see. I think this is the one I want to play. Oh no, it went somewhere that I didn't want it to go. I have to go back to it. So I'll go ahead while I'm pulling it back up, Sebastian. I'll start with you. So what are your thoughts on this situation?
I'm glad you start with me because I watched The Real Housewives of Miami, and that's where Larsa Pippen and her ways are. I'm not going to say what ways, but you guys can fill it in if you guys heard me multiple times on this panel. Clearly, this relationship, people say it's a weird relationship. People say all these things. Well, I'm going to give you my take on it. And my take is this is a groomed relationship. Yes. In my opinion, I believe this is a groomed relationship. Right. You are 16 years this boy's senior. You were married to his father's rival, friends then turned rival, teammates then turned rival. So therefore, you mingled with this kid at NBA dinners and etc. So you mean to tell me that now you have a profound love for this kid? Meanwhile, this kid could have probably, actually not 16, 17. Thank you for the correction, Zita. 17. Mm-hmm. This is clearly disgusting. This is outrageous. Larsa has diminished herself. Larsa was very gorgeous back then. Now I don't know what she has. Her lips are bigger than her eyes. Her butt that she never had. Now all of a sudden it's like it's two basketballs on each side. Larsa has done so much work that she is so unrecognizable. If you just search up Real Housewives of Miami season 1 Larsa Pippen and look up Larsa right now, it's two different people, and her voice has changed because she tried to change her voice so she could mimic the Kardashians because she was hanging out with the Kim K and Chloe and all of them girls because she thought the Housewives of Miami girls were too low for her, and then she came back to Miami later on after the Kardashians then kicked her out of their crew. I'm tired of Larsa. I don't want to hear this nonsense. And you know what? I feel like Larsa's doing all this just to spite her ex-husband, Scotty. I wouldn't be shocked if she hyphenates her last name to Larsa Pippen Jordan. So she can definitely spite him even more when she does get married to this young boy. And this young boy is clearly has some form of Stockholm syndrome, in my opinion.
Stockholm syndrome.
I'm saying this. There's no way you mean to tell me the woman that you saw at them NBA dinners, the basketball wives dinners, you're attracted to right now when you're adult? Clearly, there was probably some touching. There was probably a whole bunch of things happening when you were in your youth. You were probably fantasizing. This is not a relationship. What this is a fantasy becoming a reality, and therefore he needs help. We should be praying for Marcus Jordan. He needs help desperately.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now you trying to say this man is being trapped, not Stockholm syndrome. I'm trying to tell you, so you're not saying this is not true love for you. Zeta, your thoughts?
So I'm going to echo my brother Sebastian again. If this was a man, I'm so sorry to flip it that way, but if it was a man that's 17 years older than his partner, all hell will rise, right? So the fact that she's doing this, and I understand he's like, oh, this is the love of my life. No, it's not. This is your dad's friend. Well, not even your dad's friend. This is basically your dad's enemy's wife, right? And yes, that has nothing to do with you, but that's still so weird. And it's so weird that they're like trying to normalize that. Like we're saying, that is grooming. Like that's not okay. And I believe she said that we were not close friends, but we used to hang out like every once in a while. But still, even if y'all ran the same circles, basically you and his family ran the same circles. What makes you attracted to that? That is disgusting. And then he's talking about we're actually so much alike. And that means she's immature. What does a 50-year-old have in common with a 30-year-old? Grow up. That's disgusting. Thank you.
Thank you. Larsa, so it's a rough night. Things are not going well. 2 in a row didn't go well for Amy and TJ. Now doesn't seem to be going well for Marcus and Larsa. Robin, your thoughts?
Oh boy. I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
He's 40, right? And I'm gonna just write
No, he's not. No, he's not.
What?
He's 32. He is 32.
Okay, and how old is she?
Almost 50. I think she's 49 or 50.
Yeah, 49.
You know what? There's a very big part of me that says live and let live. If they believe, one of the things that we've been talking about this week is how we don't know these people. We are speculating and we're surmising. We don't know what the level of maturity that either of them have and how well yoked they are. I will say this. If indeed they believe themselves to be happy, they present themselves as happy, what does it have to do with any of us? That is their business. And I wish them well. I mean, come on, really? And one more. No, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
Oh, you gotta leave it there. Flip, you ain't right. He ain't right. He said, let grandma be great. I cannot. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to say this as nice as possible. Larsa is a predator.
Oh my.
And she's been sneaking in that grass, just
absolutely.
watching her prey.
Oh my God.
And when she found the time was right, she pounced on him. Okay. And that little boy don't know what to do because he's slow. Let's listen to that boy talk. He's slow as all get out. They should have put that boy in some kind of camp or something to get him over his slow hump. I'm shocked that his mom and daddy didn't put him in some kind of counseling to get him out of this latest trap. But yeah, I don't trust Larsa. Okay, I don't trust that lady no further than I could throw her, and I can't throw her, and I wouldn't try to. That's it, and that's all. Choo choo.
Savannah.
So if I recall Miss Juanita when she went through the divorce with Michael, she's not gonna allow Larsa and her claws to get in on any of that fortune. So if there is a wedding, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a prenup that Snake will have to sign, and Larsa should be embarrassed because she has children in their 20s, so they're her sons play, if I'm not mistaken. So how embarrassing. And I am expecting in 2024 Larsa to throw down her ace and pull a frozen embryo from some cryo refrigerator down in Miami, have Marcus spray that egg, and there be a new Jordan heir, and she's gonna find a way to get into that Jordan legacy fortune, and Larsa wins what she's been planning all along, because that's Larsa is like in my opinion says a snake. She is just gutter. She's a gutter snipe. Where's Denzel? She's trash. Like he said, she's trash. That is Larsa.
Woo, Wayne, no mercy tonight. Woo, I need to rename this show.
Yeah, I don't really know these people. I heard about them, I'm not trying to blow in their relationship, but I hardly think it's going to last. She has to be one of the most selfish women, knowing at her age she can't naturally give this man a child. Okay, and 10 years down the road, she's going to want this man blowing her back out while he's in his prime. So you don't think it's going to be some infidelity along the way if it lasts that long? I don't think so. And if she got all that work done, that will go up, come down.
Y'all rough tonight. You're rough tonight. Oh my goodness. E?
So for me, I do not consider this to be grooming. Grooming is when someone builds a relationship and trust or an emotional connection with a child or someone under the age of 18 with the intention of manipulating, exploiting, and abusing them. This is not grooming. He was 31 years old when they started this relationship, and I haven't heard anything, or no one has presented any stories or facts, and if they're out there, please send them my way, where Michael and Juanita had Larsa babysitting their two sons. I don't recall that. And so if Larsa was not imprinting on this particular son, Marcus, when he was underage and she wasn't babysitting, seeing him at a game, yes, that's weird. Yes, it can be sick. It's not something that happens every day. It's uncommon and it's bizarre. I can agree with those adjectives. I don't think it's cool, but grooming is such a strong word, especially when we compare the term to men, because when I hear the word grooming, I'm thinking of R. Kelly. I'm thinking of men who intentionally, not to say that women don't do it, but when I heard someone say, well, if this was a man, we would be outraged. Men do this every day. And so if we're talking about a 31-year-old man, then perhaps Michael and Juanita should have invested more into Marcus's education so that he could have been more selective and emotionally intelligent with his choices. If I close my eyes, and Diva, when you played the video, if I close my eyes and listen, Marcus sounds just like Tyler Perry. He sounds like Medea. And when you just listen to him talk, you you view his mannerisms. He's going along for the ride, and he thinks that he's doing something great. And so, listen, I don't think that the parents can stop. My mother can't stop me from doing something at 30. And so I think it's unreasonable to say the parents should invest in counseling and do something to get him away. No, once you reach a certain age, you're grown, you're a big boy, you're around here humping on things. So guess what? You make your bed, you lie in it. And that's how I feel about it.
Felicia?
Thank you, Diva. I want to connect the Garcelle story a little bit with this one.
Okay.
So, like many of us on the panel and maybe some of the folks in the chat, I really don't know. Didn't know their real backstory. We talked about this before on your panel. First of all, this is a man, okay? He is not a boy, and he can make his own decisions. From what I have read about Larsa, she was in a 20-year marriage that, came to an end. So she knows commitment, and she knows marriage, and she knows relationships.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay. So when I'm reading and I'm looking up Marcus, the reason why I'm connecting it back to Garcelle, and this isn't to offend, I'm open and to listening and learning as well.
Right.
But this is a family, both families, okay? Larsa with her 3 children, and Marcus, when he's growing up, that they have a tremendous amount of wealth. And so, there were comments that you made earlier. Well, look at the sneakers he's wearing, and look at the Burberry shirt he's wearing. So I come from a different place, because you can wear all the labels you want. You can put on all the fancy clothes and the jewelry, and you can have the best quality of cars. You don't ever have to open up a refrigerator that is empty. You're not in a space or a place where you can even contemplate not ever having enough. So I'm looking at Marcus as a man, and I'm reading his bio. His education sucked.
Oh, damn.
He ain't got no skills nowhere to earn money.
Ooh.
He had no way to find himself coming out of the Jordan line. What a tremendous success your father had.
Right.
And here you are. And listen, I don't like when people refer to people as slow. Maybe he didn't get the real opportunities to grow and develop into who he wanted to be. So he takes what he sees, and all he hears is all basketball and building this dynasty. And his abilities, his talents, his skills are not at that level. But there isn't another pathway open to him from folks who have millions of dollars to invest in him. So where does he go? To the streets. And gets a woman who says, I think you're fantastic.
Oh.
I think you're wonderful. And this is how he gets that 2 minutes or 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so I'm listening and I'm saying, but I can see how this happens. This reminds me of the story with T.I. and Tiny's son. You have to give your children a purpose.
Yeah.
You have to give them the skills that they are going to be good at.
Yeah.
Let's go to
I looked at that bio. This kid went to crap schools.
Mm.
And when I'm speaking about education, I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you do. You do. Uh-huh.
You have to find the place that's the best fit for your child.
That's facts.
And when you do, and when money's not an issue, then they can find their own purpose.
Yeah.
And their own skills and their own greatness.
Mm-hmm.
His greatness is dating his father's former friend. And look at all the press he's getting.
Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm hearing you. Okay. Let me sit up. Mm-hmm.
And with all of that said, I really do wish them the best.
Woo.
I really do. Because I need him to be successful at something.
Mm. Whoo, you said a word. You know why I'm hearing you? You know why I'm hearing you? I never forget. I loved Iyanla, and I used to watch that show, Fix My Life, all the time. She said to that one football player, his name is slipping my mind right now. She said, "You want to know why you keep dancing on that field every time you make what's in football? You make a what?
The touchdown.
The touchdown." Yeah, listen, I don't do sports, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, she said, "You dancing on that field because you performing for your father that was never there. Your father that lived in the same neighborhood as you and never said a word to you, never spoke to you. And all the family members knew that your father was right across the street and didn't tell you." Thank you for Terrell Owens. Yes.
Terrell Owens.
When you say that, I get and I'm connecting what you're saying. How you have all that money and you pour none of it into your kid. He fell by the wayside.
Yes, he did.
No, I'm connecting.
And when we talk about stuff don't mean nothing.
Right.
I don't care if you work at a fast food or if you work at a hospital or a clinic or an accounting firm. You could buy your children everything, but that's not what they need.
No, that's facts.
Come on. They're going to grow up to be men and women.
Yeah.
And
they're
I'm looking
value
at
the
him.
time. They're
And I
going
can
to value the
see.
time. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
I can see. He's missing a whole lot of something.
Ooh. Yeah.
And your parents didn't have to do the 7 to 7 or the 6 days a week. They had it.
Yeah. Ooh.
And you didn't get it.
Oh my gosh.
So you better be the best man at my wedding.
Oh
because
my.
you failed.
You failed me.
You damn right.
Oh darn. But that's why we need everybody on this panel. You said a word.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my God, Leo, your thoughts.
Oh,
I know.
Woo. But you know, that really does tap in to what Opinion said, because Larsa has picked up on that weakness. Larsa has picked up on the fact that he's undereducated, underappreciated, and don't know who he really is. And she got clay in her hands. She is getting ready to do what Larsa does. I watch Miami too. And Larsa is vicious.
Yeah, she is.
Larsa is a vicious human being, and she getting ready to drown him in love and admiration and all the things that he probably has craved from his family and from his father and has never gotten. She's going to give those things to him, and it's going to turn into money for her one way or the other. By hook or by crook, it's going to turn into some money for Larsa, because Larsa got more money than he has. As of right now, is he probably entitled to some generational wealth? Perhaps, perhaps he might got a trust fund coming at 35 or something like that.
Right.
Perhaps he may have some coins coming in, and she gonna be right there, and it may be good for him. He may teach him a path. She may have to be the mother that he did not have, or the father he did not have. I'm not saying, from everything that I can gather from watching them, they are very much connected. And to say that this gentleman she's under, educated, and he is. She's very manipulative and smart and clever in manipulation. But they're not both highly educated people, so I probably think that they do meet in the middle somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, I do believe every word Felicia said, and I believe Larsa is going to take advantage of that. She is gonna come through for the bag, y'all. Just hold on. She ain't gonna care what nobody say.
Ooh. Well, listen, she's standing strong right now and don't care. Neither does he. Wow, guys. Okay, this was a lot. Learned a lot of lessons here tonight. It's a lot. Let me see. I hope I didn't X out of my story by mistake here.
Doesn't Larsa make like $10,000 a day on OnlyFans or something?
I don't know that.
I remember seeing that on the show.
I think it's more than that. Like Larsa into making her coins now. She when it comes to this social media and media bag, she learned from the Kardashians a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Plus, she received half of Scotty's 401k. She just got a settlement off of that, so that was a big bank.
Yeah, she's rolling.
She got that jewelry line that she owned too. So
yeah, Larsa Marie.
Ooh, but you know what though? He had a disadvantage growing up. They didn't pour into him, and now here you got. I was also told, like, it's 18 years. It's better to pour into them for 18 years when they're growing up, when they're young, than to try to fix a broken adult, for lack of a better word. Do you know what I mean? Yep. 18 years, just pour into them. Give it all you got. So they can be a productive adult. Listen, we're moving on to the feel-good story. I learned some lessons here tonight. I appreciate all of y'all, everybody's comments. This was a good one. I wasn't expecting this. I thought this was going to be just easy breezy. But little did I know. Now let's get into this feel-good story. Okay. Hold on.
Lesson in never giving up, even when it seems the odds are stacked against you. Need proof? CBS's Steve Hartman found it on the road.
Technically, 13-year-old Josiah Johnson of Louisville, Kentucky, has a disability. But almost no one sees it because Josiah doesn't see it. Although born without legs, the kid has yet to find his kryptonite. Always did everything the other kids did. But that invincibility was put to the test last fall when Josiah decided to try out for the one sport where altitude is everything. The Moore Middle School basketball team.
At this point, you may be wondering, why didn't he just join a wheelchair basketball team? It would certainly be a lot easier. Well, Josiah says, exactly.
It was easy. It was too easy.
You wanted more of a challenge.
Yeah.
The gumption it takes to be able to say, I'm going to go out and do that. Who has that kind of confidence?
Me.
But his mother, Whitney, says it's not just confidence. It's stubbornness.
Josiah is very competitive, and if he feels like something is too easy, he's not going to do it.
Still, Josiah knew making the team was a long shot. Fortunately, though, Josiah turned out to be pretty good at long shots. He made the team on his merits. And over the last few months has become a real contributor, getting offensive rebounds, assists, and because of his unique position on the floor, he has caused more than a few turnovers.
He started taking the ball from people. He took the ball from me. I was mad. You would have thought Steph Curry was in the gym.
But his teammates say his best play was a couple weeks ago.
It was just a moment that I'm going to remember for like ever.
It was the end of the game, seconds remaining. Josiah shoots from three. And again, his disability disappeared.
What do you want people to take away from this?
To do something that they thought they couldn't do.
Josiah Johnson, inspiration and proof that all you need to stand above is confidence. Steve Hartman, on the road. in Louisville, Kentucky.
All right, guys, we got time. Leo, your thoughts on this story?
Lord have mercy, you get me. Oh my God.
Did you get chills when he did that 3-pointer?
You know, what a blessing, right?
Mhm.
The world is open to this young man, and I credit his parenting.
Mhm.
I credit the ability for him not to be told there's something that he can't do.
Mhm.
I bless him for the ability to be able to say, oh no, that looks like that's something hard. That's what I'm going to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
People are going to say, I can't do this. Yeah. Josiah said, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Mustard seed faith
Woo!
shows up every time, don't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Bless him.
Bless him. Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
When you love and protect,
Mm-hmm.
his face is bright and his smile was blooming and loving.
Mm-hmm.
He's accepted. He knows what he can do if he gets to work to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And all the opportunities that are going to be extended to him going forward, in the name of Jesus, let them all be for him. So he has a good and productive, happy life.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Felicia. E, your thoughts?
So I agree. I think it was at first when I saw the opening, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't get hurt. You know, that's the overprotective mom in me. I don't want him on the floor with all of those kids running around. And, you know, I don't want anyone to, you know, I don't want him to get hurt. But seeing how the team embraced him and how they acknowledged how valuable he was. And I think that speaks to what Felicia was mentioning on the last story, giving the kids a purpose, a sense of identity, but also the other children and the coach for also giving him a title so that he feels he belongs to something beyond his circumstances. Like the narrator in the package said, his disability disappears. And so I know that that can be everything for someone. And so I am happy that he is getting this moment, especially during his high school career, to experience that, because who knows what this confidence and what this experience is going to lead to, because he's finding a purpose and he's being an inspiration to others in the process. So kudos to him, and I look forward to seeing what he will do in the future.
Yeah. Thank you, E. Wayne, you're up.
You know, when I was growing up, my mother used to always say, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, and it used to be just so, cliche-ish. When you see things like this, you know exactly what it means. He made a way out of, we would have thought was something impossible. I mean, and I'm sure he's a big encouragement to people who do have legs, who complain about, whatever. And then when you look at somebody like that, they can do that with no legs and no complaints. So kudos to him, blessings to him.
Blessings to him. Savannah, your thoughts?
I had just one word that came to mind was perseverance. And that is what this young man embodied, was perseverance. And shout out to his team, his community, for supporting him and embracing him and uplifting him and protecting him. And I And I can just, I've had, as we all have had a hard week, and we're all getting ready for the holidays here and all the running and hustling that we have to do. And there's going to be those days where we don't want to get up and we're just tired, and just recall this one story and think of this young man, what it took for him to get up every day and to get on that floor and be great. And I will always remember this story. So thank you for bringing it to us.
Thank you, Savannah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Okay, so Diva, when I saw this, I had one scripture in mind, and it's Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. And it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declare the Lord, the plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." He didn't let his disability become his downfall. He let his disability become his superpower. And I am so strengthened in that. And you better know that your disability don't have to be a disperse to you. It has to be your superpower. And I tell my twins that have autism, autism doesn't have you. So don't let it be a discourage to you. Let that be your superpower. So if anything you're suffering through, you have to lean on to the Lord for his own understanding, not for yours, but for his. Give it to the Lord and let him deal with it, and you'll prosper.
Amen. Amen. Robin, your thoughts?
Diva, thank you for bringing us these great Steve Hartman stories. I'm just going to echo all the really lovely, wonderful things that everyone has said about this. And I would also like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a really good night.
Thank you, Robin. Appreciate you. Sebastian?
You see, that video showed me, like, no matter what happens to you, no matter what obstacle that like appears in your life, you can overcome it. You can overcome it. I was so excited when I saw that 3-point shot. I was so excited for him. Every obstacle, and if you can't overcome the obstacle, you can make the obstacle in a certain way so you can have ease. It was so great. That video was so great.
It was. Thank you, Sebastian. Zeta, you get the final words?
I want to make sure I say his name right. I believe his name is Josiah Johnson.
Yes.
Shout out to Mr. Johnson for making moves. Steph Curry on the court. You can't mess with him, okay? So I was very happy to see him. And he said it. He said that this was more challenging. So this will push him to do it. I love that. He did not settle for something that he knows he will be he could excel in just off the bat, that he wanted to put work in, and then he was accepted by the people, and they were all just so kind to him. I love that. It was just a good way to end. So thank you, Diva, and good night, everybody.
Thank you. Listen, thank you, everybody, for being here. We did a miracle tonight, honey. We came in under time, all right? So I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit it on your way out. Thank you for spending your night with me for Trending Topics Thursday. True love, okay? True love, people. Listen, love y'all. Good night, goodbye. And I will see y'all tomorrow for Friday night Trending Topics. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Choo-choo.